Alright, it's that time once again. We made the promise, and it's time to come good, because Kaiju Creative is finally returning to Japan, and this one is gonna be epic.
Should I practice that gopher stance?
And this time my partner in crime on the trip is gonna be my future partner in life, Nichola, who will let off just this once for mixing up a gopher and a chipmunk, because naturally, we're only running on a few hours of sleep leading up to our near 14-hour journey from Heathrow Airport in London all the way to Haneda over in Tokyo. This time out, thanks to some air miles and a companion voucher, we've managed to snag ourselves some premium economy seats, which should make the ride a lot more comfortable, but who am I kidding? I don't think I'll ever be fully at ease on such a long-haul flight, but at least the pot of gold at the end of this rainbow is well worth a few uncomfortable hours at 35,000 feet. And while I was lucky enough to visit Japan twice in 2024, I'm still far from an expert on the country itself. But still, I've been prepping for this one for a while now, and I'll hopefully be able to guide the two of us well enough over the next 18 days as we travel around the country with stops in Tokyo, Hiroshima, Beppu, Osaka, and Hakone all on the cards. With a jam-packed itinerary, there won't be much time to stop and smell the roses in between. It always feels a bit like a dream once you touch down in Tokyo, but it won't be very long now until the adventure can truly begin. Very humid. You made it. Humid. After a quick bag drop at the hotel, we hit the pavement in Shibuya, first paying our respects to the best boy, before heading over to a relatively calm scramble crossing. It was a weekday morning after all, so the chaotic crowds had yet to materialize. And on a beautiful day like this, I thought I'd bring Nichola to the nearby Miyashita Park to take in a bit of fresh air and sun in the center of this concrete jungle. Now ideally, I want to explore as many new places as I can on this trip. But it's also Nichola's first time in the country, so naturally, we'll be stopping at a few familiar places along the way, including the Parco building and the Nintendo store. Despite it being the Switch 2's launch day, that wasn't the reason we were here though, because there was another new shop at the Parco building that I had to visit. That's right, it's a brand new Godzilla store that had only just opened a few weeks before we arrived in Japan. Like a lot of the character stores, this Godzilla store Shibuya is just a small portion of the floor space here in the Parco building. But despite the small square footage, this Godzilla store still packs a punch, especially with this amazing burning Godzilla statue which greets guests with lights, sound, and music from the franchise. But I can't fall into my normal traps just yet. We are mere hours into this 18-day trip, and there is so much more to see and potentially add to my collection down the road. So cool. Leaving the big G behind, for now, we strolled down Harajuku Cat Street, en route to the Tokyo Plaza, another spot that I'd been to on a previous trip, but this time we are here for some nice views and, better yet, our first meal of the trip. The first day of the trip was always going to be a little bit random because we weren't sure how we'd feel after the long journey, so we were just sort of going with the flow. We still had a bit more time before we could check into our hotel officially, so we were on the lookout for some more green space to take in some nice vitamin D. And luckily, the Shinjuku Gyoen National Garden should do very nicely. This 144-acre garden lies in between Shinjuku and Shibuya and has been around since 1906. Now operated by the Ministry of the Environment, this space blends 3 different styles, including French and English landscapes in addition to traditional Japanese ones. Most of the garden was damaged during World War II, but as the country recovered, so did the garden as it reopened to the public in May of 1949. Visitors do need to pay a small fee to enter and take in the beauty, but it's well worth the small sum for such a well-maintained space. But hey, look at the time. We gotta get to the hotel, check in, recharge the batteries, and get ready for our first night in Tokyo. And while it may not have been the epic all-nighter that we thought it could have been, we still managed to have a pretty good time.
Oh, it's fun!
Despite my poor form at the UFO catchers. Kanpai. And it was at this time that food, alcohol, and the lack of sleep really started to hit us, so we decided to wrap things up for the night and say goodbye to the Kabukicho Tower. And you know how it goes, we had to stop at a konbini on the way back for some snacks. And for Nichola to learn a very important lesson about the bin situation in Japan.
Loving the bin situation. You could have bins and just empty them in a really tidy fashion. Just saying, hashtag change the entire approach.
She doesn't get it.
Now if you'll excuse me, I think it's time for a nightcap.